Alright, so Capricorn, this video is the long-awaited Alchemy of the Devil video. And I'm really excited about this. So excited that I took a long time to put it together. This has been work that I've been doing for a couple of years now when it comes to Saturn energy, devil energy, etc. But to condense all of it into a video made me nervous, and I have been going back and forth about how I wanted to present it and how I wanted to show up myself. I had this idea for, my, I don't know, lipstick and things. And then I think because I was overthinking it, I realized that I should just show up completely naked. And here I am in the nude. And nude as in, obviously I have clothes on, but you get what I'm saying, as in kind of just, my hair looks a mess, this is just my face, and I'm just here. And I think actually with doing that, it is the smarter thing, only because it kind of represents exactly why it is that I'm making this video. And this is going to be number one, but I want to make a series of these. And depending on how you guys respond to them, I really want to pull you in terms of understanding this energy and how beneficial it is for you as a Capricorn, but then also you as a Capricorn entering into the age of Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius. Because Aquarius also is ruled by Saturn. And we're going to see our world go through a major shift towards Saturnian energy and more people understanding it for what it truly is as we venture out of the age of Pisces, which was about the meek inheriting the world, a religion. The main religion was Christianity and things that stemmed from that belief system of the sheep and the lion, and the sheep being more pure than the lion. And a lot of that is Piscean energy and Piscean themes, the Vesica Pisces, the double fish, Jesus Christ, all of these things. Although he was a deity of the Christmas era, like most deities like Buddha and Hermes, etc., his energy showed up Piscean during the age of Aquarius, during the age of Pisces, because that was what we needed in order to understand the age. Whenever there is an age like the Aquarian age or the Piscean age or the Taurian age, new deities are risen, religions are born out of them that represent whatever the age represents, kind of like Moloch, who came from the age of Taurus. And Moloch is kind of, during that age, he's similar to what the devil represents here in the age of Pisces, entering the age of Aquarius. And he was worshipped, and the bull statues went up, and bull, just like Jesus, right? It's like you go into the store and you see all of these different symbols of him and statues of him. During the age of Taurus, Moloch was everywhere. He was worshipped and seen in little stores and etc. Depending on the religion or the culture that you were in. The Sumerians, I believe, were the ones that loved him very deeply. And showcased a lot of his work, and a lot of the modern day Saturnian worship and churches, etc., go back down to the Moloch era in order to understand things in the modern day. But in general, Saturn energy is always depicted with horns. There's always something about that the viewpoint of having horns on one's head, on the crown, something extending beyond the crown, is big in terms of understanding Saturn energy. But yeah, what I want you guys to understand is how to ground yourself in this energy without being afraid of it. Why? Because we are moving out of the age of Pisces, where this energy was depicted as fear, especially if you guys have Christian backgrounds or religions that derive from Christianity. This concept, the concept of the devil, is very terrifying. And it was made that way, mainly through politicism, because in early viewpoints of Christianity, or like Indo-Europe, for example, the worship of this energy was very much normalized. But as time broke down and as political powers wanted to make it so that the general public believed in punishment so that they were easy to control, while the people in power were were Freemasons and believed in this work. And then it slowly transitioned over to being about New World Order and power and a way to control people and consider the occult and Illuminati and all of these different things. But really, it is the beauty of Saturn energy, and it's as simple as when we take a crystal, like the one that is around my neck, and this is a moon crystal, this is a selenite crystal, when you take this crystal and you use it and then you charge it in the moon and you use this energy to transition or transform your own energy, that is Saturn energy. To materialize that which is not material, to crystallize energy, electricity, things that move through our earth, mass, matter, okay? So that is Saturn energy, that is devil energy, right? When you take something physical and it represents something that is non-physical, the crown and the root, to practicalize that which cannot be made practical. We all come to this earth through the lens of death, life and death, and what Saturn represents. But we're going to get into that. And yeah, in terms of how I look, that's part of what I meant. It is, it's not something that is a caricature. You know, I look like myself, right? So I'm not here wearing an outfit that represents the darkness, or even though I do wear a lot of black and things like that, it's like the fact that today I am simply just as I am. And that's how I want you to look at this energy and understand it, take down the stereotypes tied to it, because they're really just exaggerations of an era and of an age, okay? So let's get into this. Like I said, it's a lot of information, and I'm going to try to just, like, I guess, keep it information based. I want you guys in the comments telling me how you feel after this video, because I want to expand more on this, and most importantly, get you guys to understand how to manifest through this energy and the power of, well, I was going to say the cube, which you're going to learn about later, but the power of this energy, especially as sea goats in specific, and how to know how to navigate your own energy and how to create and manifest, especially after dealing with so much scarcity that you guys dealt with during your Pluto era, especially the Aquarius Saturn era. There's so much about abundance, and this is, again, scarcity wasn't just financial. For some of you, it could have been financial. For others of you, it could have been love. It could have been spirit. In general, as we go into the age of Pluto and the Pluto Aquarius transit, you are going to be swimming in abundance. That's what it's all about for you. That's your second house. And you're going to be seen, as I keep saying, in a very, very positive light in the new world. But you have to prepare yourself for this. And it's all about you learning how to swim, how to be comfortable in your own energy and to not see it as something negative. You are definitely the embodiment of power, and understanding that your energy as a sea goat and the devil energy, Saturn energy, is holy and it's enlightened. It's not something that is different from any other practice that takes us in our humanness and grounds us here. We get energy from the sun and we ground that energy through Saturn's energy. Saturn itself, if you look at our solar system, is able to generate more heat for itself internally than any other planet, simply because it is so far away from the sun. It exists in its own reality. So here we have the sun, we have all the planets in between, and then we have Saturn existing in its own orbit outside of the sun. That's why it's the 10th house, okay? And usually that which represents the sun, which is, I believe, Leo, is sitting at the 5th house. But yes, so we have Capricorn at the 10th house, Capricorn being able to represent a new beginning and a new era. And the last 3 signs in general are exalted and in their own kind of threshold amongst the 12, okay? Because it's 4 different categories and 3 in each one. We've got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, 1. We've got Cancer, Leo, Virgo, that's another one. And then we've got Libra, who begins the viewpoint of justice and equilibrium, okay? Libra bringing in the old with the new. And that merger, we've got Scorpio, and then we've got Sag. And then from there begins Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And through Capricorn, you die to get reborn. You visit hell in order to reach heaven. You go through a major transformation. It's all about growth through opposition. the life and death process, the practicalization of things, Earth in its own right, and what the spirit transitions through is Capricorn energy. It is very dark energy. And it happens in the dead of winter, which is the darkest day of the year, no matter where you are, around the winter solstice. So Capricorn is in the winter, begins the winter, and then Aquarius extends the winter, and then Pisces ends us all in nearing the end of the winter. So Capricorn begins the end, and the end is the beginning of the new. When you go beyond the enlightenment stage at the 7th layer, at the 10th house, and then you extend beyond that when you're in Aqua, and then the full completion ends in Pisces. Okay, but anyway, so I'm going to break down the different elements of the devil and how it's depicted in the modern era. So the devil as we know it today, after the age, nearing the end of the age of Pisces that we're in right now. So usually in this depiction, we see it with breasts. Usually it's depicted mostly looking male, but it has some kind of breasts and pretty much is a hermaphrodite. And what is that a representation of? It's duality, the male and female principle in one, understanding the left and the right in order to come to completion. The hands, the symbols of as above, so below, which usually continues to as within, so without. But the two symbols themselves are representation of as above, so below. The 5-point star, usually it's depending on the symbol of the devil that you're looking at. It could be inverted or it could be upright. The 5-point star has represented many things throughout history but we're just looking at about the last 4,000 years, right? When we look at Christianity a few years back, the 5-point star represented the wounds of Jesus, the 5 wounds of Jesus. And a part of the reason why they did that is because the 5-point star prior to Christianity was a representation of the elements. So the 4 elements and then spirit or ether. 4 elements being water, earth, fire, and air, and along with spirit. So that's what the 5 points represent. In modern worlds, I would say Wiccas or the Wiccan religion is one that still stabilizes that idea of the 5-point representation of how to call the corners, right? How to bring in all of that energy into one. So that's what the 5-point star represents. I know that in the modern Satanist church, I know that they turn it upside down. I'm not always sure the reason why. Basically, in their representation, spirit is down under. So it may be, I don't know. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know. Another thing, and the 5 elements, as well as spirit, is a representation, again, of the materialism of Earth, of understanding the physical, the literal, because that is what the devil's representation is, which is Earth, the literal, the physical. We have the wings, just like angels, right? Which the devil in Christianity is a fallen angel or a former angel. The wings are a representation of being able to journey throughout the realms. So being in many different dimensions and being able to freely navigate the different worlds. So not being tethered or chained. The goat is a representation of Saturn energy, wisdom, etc. The beast, the body. When they say in Christianity, the body of the beast, the body, your physical body is the beast. So to be animal, to be physical, to be literal, to be on earth is a representation of that. It's kneeling as well, usually in most of their depictions, and it's a meditative positioning, the legs crossing over on the ankles, a sign of wisdom, balance, peace within the self, clarity. So yeah, I would say that all of those things kind of break down the statue in itself, or not the statue, but the image itself. Satan is the bearer of hell, right? The governor of hell, as far as we know in the modern era, tied to traditional Christianity. And hell in itself has changed throughout the years, right? And just a couple thousand years ago, it kind of looked like a Dante's Inferno. In Indo-Europe, heaven and hell were the same thing. And in other religions, hell didn't exist at all. So it's taken on many different pictures throughout the years, which is my point in terms of understanding how to go beyond the narrative. But hell in itself is a representation of falling into the dark in order to find light, in order to achieve light. Why is it that Christians called the devil, Satan, Lucifer, etc., a light bearer, a fallen angel, to fall from light into the dark, to then transition from a space in the ethers, to then materialize into the modern world? You have fallen, right? Your spirit has fallen from wherever in order to be human. And so here you are functioning in your human body, a spirit in your human body. As we usually say in the spiritual community, I guess, is, oh, I am a spirit in human form, or whatever it may be. And the process of being born is dying in another realm in order to find yourself here on earth. And on the earthly plane, you grow through opposition. You are moving through variations of tests and experiences. Life is not easy for anyone. There's always gravity. There's always something pulling against you. There's always something trying to align you, realign you, etc. Some of our experiences are more difficult than others, but we all experience something. That is the way of this game. Life in itself is a game. And we are all navigating it. And challenge will never stop. Opposition will never stop. That is the way of this life. To fall from grace, right? To come into this material world is to take your spirit and materialize it in the practical, to make yourself something of matter, to make it so that you can be touched and felt, and you aren't just a spirit. You are a spirit having a human experience. To have a human experience is to have a hell-based experience. Okay, so with all that being said, let's get into Saturn. So in our modern world, what we call Satan is really just a representation of what the ancient world considered to be Saturn. They called him many different names as well. I'm saying him only because in the modern world, the devil is depicted through a masculine person, although showing up as a hermaphrodite, but is mostly male. So I'm going to say him. Even though the idea of creation is still through the feminine principle, that's what I will say. So Saturn is Satan, Satan is Saturn. And so when we look at Saturn energy, that's where we go into understanding the alchemy of the devil. How to create a life that you truly want for yourself when you understand materialism, when you understand how to not resist or resent the practical. We're living in a time where, because of the fact that, and I will make this another video if you guys want, but the age of Pisces was so difficult for humanity and for the world because we're at the bottom of our vibrational plane. The vibration of our planet is increasing by the daily, which is why in the spiritual community here on the commercial YouTube, you have people talking about how the age of Aquarius is a whole new era and it's this great thing. The age in itself is not that, nor is Aquarius the sign or the person, any higher vibrational being. It's literally just the energy of our planet. The vibration of our planet is falling up the wavelength. It's fallen up and down numerous times throughout the millions of years that Earth has been here. It's not something abnormal and it's not something new. It's just happening now. So because it's happening now and we hit such a low point, what did we see during the Piscean age? We saw things like the Dark Ages. We saw things like the lowest points of Piscean energy, which is debauchery like slavery. Dehumanization, the way in which women were treated, spirituality was treated, etc. So we hit such a low point. And when you're talking about Piscean energy, the lower vibrational sides of it are some of the worst crimes that can be committed against humanity, because Pisces can be the ultimate victim. So we saw a lot of that take place, and here we are moving up the vibrational wavelength, and then we're going into a new age, which is the age of Aquarius, where we are understanding the merger of the practical world and the worlds outside of us, the other worlds outside of us. And so with that, we have to understand that the devil energy is Saturn energy, and how you as a Capricorn, or anybody watching this who has Capricorn placements, can learn to manifest the life that you want for yourself, or create the life that you want for yourself through this energy. And number one, like I said, is not being afraid of the material. All of these belief systems that you have, that materialization is negative, that money is the root of all evil, or I don't know, I can't think of whatever other stereotypes, power is negative. They were mainly created and bled out into society so that those people who understand the power of Saturn energy make it so that the general public is afraid of it, resists it, and they turned it into hellfire so that the average person thought a certain way and operated a certain way, while the people in power had completely different belief systems. I always make a joke about how many modern day countries, when they were founded, or like during the era of colonialism, or even now, how you'll go into a country and so many people of that country will have a certain religion that pretty much oppresses them, but the people in power will have a completely, what we normally see on the internet as conspiracies or whatever it is, but really it's just that they understand Saturn energy and they don't want you to. And so they make it so that it seems scary to you, or it seems evil to you, or it seems bad to you. But Saturn energy is not any of the sort. It is simply understanding what it is to be human, what it is to be physical, what it is to be literal. It is not a bad thing at all. And it's about embracing it in order to understand that you chose this human experience. The only way to truly evolve, if you don't want to continue to have more lifetimes, if you don't want to continue to suffer in your life, it's not about going off into a hippie plane of telling yourself that you're just going to journey forever and disassociate completely from the physical form. We've seen many spiritualists do that throughout the ages. Many different gurus from many different practices, especially during the age of Pisces, when everyone was practicing escapism in their religions in order to disassociate from the horrors that they were experiencing here in our world. As we continue to climb the vibrational plane, it is very, very important that you understand how to control your own narrative and how to have control of the physical and the literal, because the dark side of the age of Aquarius is them being able to control the way that you see the practical world by making it so that you're so lost in a visual, non-physical world in order to disassociate from the one that is right in front of you. And making it even more difficult if it's something that's virtual or something that you can see. When you embrace that which is felt, that is when you'll be able to control your life and control your own narrative. We see online a lot of conspiracy theories about the black cube and oh my gosh and all these things. The cube of Saturn, to square the circle, to understand the square, to understand the physical, is not a negative, bad, and or evil thing. It is about understanding, again, the practicalization of the earthly plane. of what it means to be here on the physical. I always tell you guys that you represent the crown and the root, to be able to make the impractical practical. That's what makes Capricorn energy so powerful. You can take something that no one can ever envision. You can create things that no one ever thought possible, because you are taking that which is in the spirit, that which is in the ether, and you are making it materialized. That is what Saturn energy represents. Materializing that which cannot be materialized. So many of you are now in a space where you want to become teachers or gurus or whatever it means, or anything along those lines, and you're getting downloads, especially now that Mercury is in Sagittarius. But you get these downloads and you get these ideas and you want to make them real. That is Saturn energy happening in that moment. That is electricity moving through you. You are taking light and materializing it. Every single time you have a vision and you bring it forth in the practical, that is Saturn energy. That is black cube energy. That is squaring the circle, circling the square. That is merging the masculine, feminine principles and creating that which is, that can be touched, felt, seen. Okay? That is what you do. That is what it is all about. That is how you live your life here on the earthly plane, the way that you want to see it. That is how you make life blissful. When you do not resist the fact that you are human and you chose to have this human experience. Religions teach you that the human experience is bad and wrong. And what did we see during, the 1500s in the UK? We had a lot of great literature, but the literature was Christian based and was constantly talking about how to enjoy your life was to go against God itself. And to enjoy living was bad, and you would be condemned for it in the afterlife. No. To understand how to take your spirit and expand on your own spirit in such a deep and intense way where you can materialize that spirit to live the life of your dreams is Saturn energy, is Satan energy, etc. And like I was saying, when it comes to crystals, the crystallization, right? To crystallize is Saturn. To crystallize is that energy, to materialize, okay? That is what it is that you do. Alchemy within itself is Saturn energy. And when we want to talk about things like black, the energy of the black cube, or the color itself and why it represents Saturn, why you see it represent Capricorn, is because it's about infinity. It is the ultimate mode of creation. Black in itself, the color, the shade that is the absence of all colors, is infinite. It represents infinity. And the cube in itself is the infinite possibility of the materialization. Anything is possible. Anything. Anything can be materialized as long as you understand that, as long as you are willing to materialize it. When you separate yourself from the body, from the beast, when you separate yourself from the earthly plane and you look toward escapism, your life is no longer in your own hands. When you ground yourself, when you root yourself into the physical, then anything that you deem to be real can be realized. Okay? And a lot of the time what we see in, again, popularized astrology and spirituality is resistance of that which is happening here on the physical. And then those same groups of people will then have this feeling of powerlessness when it comes to those in power. Powerlessness when it comes to governments or secret societies or whatever it may be. Secret societies do not understand anything different than what I am telling you. They do not understand anything different than the same thing that you do when you watch these YouTube videos and you're looking for guidance. It's the same energy, it's the same information, but it's just done without fear. And it's done without resistance because they don't believe in the same resistance that is implied to others. Another thing that I wanted to mention as well, because we see on the representation of the devil, and I'm neither here nor there about Satanism. This is not a video promoting any religion. Saturn in itself is separate from all of these things. When you understand the alchemy of the devil, as I was saying, it's many different religions and many different practices Satanism, Saturn worship, Christianity, Islam. You also see stories about Satan represented in Hindi as well. Kali is kind of a representation of the same energy. So these are all these modern practices that showcase the same energy, the same deities. I'm not pinpointing one over the other, and there are many different ways in which this energy is depicted in modern religions that I don't necessarily agree with. I am here bringing you back to the original source, that is Saturn, and understanding the alchemy of this energy and how to embrace the power and the intensity of your humanness. Most importantly, as Capricorn suns. You were born in the solar part of our calendar that is directly correlated with this powerful, amazing energy that is Saturn energy. And that is important for you to open yourself to and understand, especially as the Pluto transit is transitioning and you are moving into spaces of leadership in your communities, in your societies, and in the world. That is what you have been called to do. That is a part of the reason why your soul chose to be here, to have a Pluto return during this time period. And I am simply here as a vehicle to help you understand how to better embrace your personal power and to expand it. And the first way that you do that is understanding to debunk Saturnian and also Capricornian stereotypes that hold you back. When you are understanding materialism, it is about the fact that you are directly connected to the spiritual. Capricorn energy in itself is very spiritual, and it's understanding that that SeaGoat is about the merger of spirit and literal. It is because your purpose is what drives you. Your purpose is what you become obsessed about. It's a passionate energy that moves through you, a deep desire to constantly create. When you understand it from that lens, then you can really embrace your personal power and extend beyond the limitations that everybody wants you to sit in, right? Which is this little box where you're just kind of hovering around and being the workaholic of the zodiac so all the other signs can feel like they're all important. No. When you understand the depth of your spirituality and the depth of the power that you can transcend onto this planet, it is absolutely amazing. It is your alchemy. And Saturn energy is, again, taking the light that is, because we are beings of light, right? We are energized from the sun. We are beings of light. And taking that light and materializing it. Putting yourself through death and rebirth. Kronos was in Greece, and Kronos was known to eat his children. Well, Kronos represents Saturn. Kronos is Saturn during Greece, and Kronos ate his children, right? This big scary story, oh my goodness, Saturn is always so bad, the big bad wolf. Kronos is a representation of time. Kronos ate his children because it was a showcase of time. The fact that time kills all. Time devours all. It's not anything to be afraid of. It's not anything to fear. These are just stories that are depicted in various ways based on whoever is in political power and what it is that they want people to believe in that moment in order to make it so that they either navigate this way, navigate that way, have control this way, don't have control that way. Take this energy back. It's about taking this power back and understanding it from where you need to sit so that you create your own world order. Instead of feeling like such a victim to the world outside of you, right? To people who have all of this power. No one has power over you unless you give it. When you understand that within the Capricornian energy is the ability to create your own world, to create your own universe, to embrace that power and expand beyond just business, beyond just management, but to create worlds, to birth worlds. But it's also understanding both. You know, the sun gives you energy as well, but it's the light and the dark. There's a reason why so many deities are born in Capricorn season, are born on Christmas Day, and what that day represents, and how they are always represented in the same way. They live the same kind of lives, and it's all about humanity, protecting humanity, being there for humanity, guiding humanity. Capricorn's meant to be leaders during the Pluto transit, to guide, to teach, people in understanding how to navigate their own experiences based on what it is that you went through. This is not by coincidence. Pluto brings you through deep transformation and change. Pluto will kill you to bring you back again, over and over again. Pluto is great because it can take that which is shallow and make it deep. It can take someone who thought of themselves as a normal CEO and turn him into a guru living off the grid. Okay, so that kind of breakdown might look very chaotic and crazy, but the purpose is to get you to understand how to navigate through your purpose more than your career. That is where your power comes from. That is where your creativity comes from. The downloads that you have, your intuition, your spirituality. That's why you guys are so critical and so, you know, I don't know if I want this person around me. I don't know if I want that person around me. It's because it's your intuition constantly speaking and screaming to you. That depth that you have been forced to embrace now. You can no longer resist it and just kind of blend in just because, or go along to get along, whatever it may be. So, yeah, and I talked about the 5-point star, but usually the 5-point star is not a representation of Saturn energy. It's the 6-point star that's a representation of Saturn energy. Again, those who tend to really glorify Satan like the 5-point star, but the 6-point star is Satan's star, Saturn's star. And it's really just the physical with the spiritual. So one triangle, I'll just probably put in the video, but one represents the physical, the other represents the spiritual. As above, so below. That is Saturn energy. As above, so below. And when you look at the Saturn symbol, it is the material over the spiritual, mind, or it's matter over mind. And usually this is something that people see as a negative thing. But the entire point of being human, of being alive, is your matter, your physical body, your physical form holds weight over the mind. And it's not a negative thing. It's through understanding. That's why the SeaGoat has a fish tail and a beast as a head. It's about taking the spiritual, taking the emotional, taking the depth, right? Having it deep within and materializing it, practicalizing it. That's why when we moved from Sagittarius into Capricorn, it went from mind over matter into matter over mind. Sagittarius has to understand its mind. That's its journey, that's its goal, that's the human experience. As I always say, the zodiac is a representation of the human journey. It's a representation of the human body. It's a representation of spirit. It's seen in every single religion. They just break them down through different various stories. Every Bible is talking about the same thing. They just do it in different ways. It's a representation of many things. Through Sagittarius, one is searching for the mind, goes out into the world after understanding the depth of its connections. When it steps into Capricorn energy, it already understands its mind. It understands its spirit. It understands people. It understands the soul. It understands the self. It's already gone through 9 different phases when it reaches the 10th house. Now that it's in the 10th house, it takes all of that information and it expands it. It's about taking all of that depth, all of that character, all of that development, and physically practicalizing it, materializing it, in order to expand on the world around it, in order to make it real. So it is not a bad thing. It is not about resisting this energy. It's about embracing this energy. You see a crystal is only a crystal because of Saturn energy. This is a crystallized field of energy. You are a crystallized, materialized field of energy. Embrace that. Live the life that you desire the most to live. Practical, make the spiritual literal so it can be felt, seen, and understood. That is where true transformation comes from. That is where true human alignment comes from. Disassociating from the body will not do very much besides leave you in a state of constant illumination and disassociation. Above, so below, moving with the practical, and that's how you alchemize your energy. Like I said, there's a lot of information here, and I don't want to bombard you guys too much with all of it. I actually want to break it up into a series of a few videos, and I want to know your opinions about it. I wanted to do One where I was talking about manifesting with this energy and really just kind of give you guys a full rundown of the Saturnian energy and make it so that you are fully an understanding of your personal energy, your power, why the devil represents Capricorn, what all these symbols mean, and how it is that you can expand on this. So yeah, so I want to break it down. I want to expand further, and I want to know if you guys would be interested in all of this information. But yeah, especially when going into the understanding of the physical realm, the numbers of the beast, the 666, and why 6 is a representation of the beast. The crown and why you always see a crown in Kronos and how it's connected, and it's all about the rings of Saturn. So I just wanted to go into all of this information and really just do this dance with you guys, especially as we're preparing for the Pluto masterclass. So it's all of this is kind of leading up to that, which is exciting. So yeah, so tell me your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. I love you. Ciao.